For 9 seasons, Family Matters felt like the perfect TV family, filled with laughter, friendship, and Steve Urkel's unforgettable catchphrases. Yet behind the laughter, many cast members faced painful divorces, career collapses, legal troubles, and tragic deaths that forever changed their lives. Join us as we revisit the Family Matters cast then and now in 2026. Michelle Thomas as Myra Monkhouse. Michelle Thomas, born on September 23, 1968, in Boston, Massachusetts, was 25 years old when she played Myra Monkhouse, Steve Urkel's devoted and lovable girlfriend in Family Matters. Her charm, natural warmth, and unforgettable chemistry with Urkel made Myra one of the show's most beloved characters. Michelle Thomas passed away on December 22, 1998, at the age of 30 in New York City after battling a rare form of stomach cancer known as an intra-abdominal desmoplastic small round cell tumor. Her death came only weeks after her final Family Matters appearance aired, shocking fans and the entertainment industry alike. She was laid to rest in New Jersey, surrounded by the love of family and friends who had supported her throughout her difficult final months. The diagnosis arrived in 1997, just as Michelle's career was continuing to rise following her success on Family Matters and The Cosby Show. Multiple surgeries and painful treatments followed, but those closest to her often spoke about her remarkable optimism and courage despite the suffering she endured. She never married, yet actor Malcolm Jamal Warner remained faithfully by her side throughout her illness, offering support until the very end. Michelle Thomas's life was heartbreakingly short, but the kindness, joy, and warmth she brought to others ensured that her memory would outlive the tragedy that took her far too soon. Reginald VelJohnson as Carl Winslow. Reginald VelJohnson, born on August 16, 1952 in New York, was 37 years old when he played Carl Winslow in Family Matters. Carl Winslow stands as a hard-working police officer and devoted father, often caught between duty on the streets and chaos at home. The role became one of the most recognizable TV fathers of the late 20th century. In 2026, Reginald VelJohnson is 74 years old and continues to appear at fan conventions and television reunions, while also taking on small guest roles and voice work that keep him present in modern entertainment. Over the years, he has spoken openly about how audiences often see him first and foremost through his police officer roles, especially from Family Matters and Die Hard. Across his career, he built a steady presence in both television and film, with Family Matters running for 215 episodes across 9 seasons and becoming one of the defining sitcoms of its era. His role in Die Hard, 1988, and Die Hard 2, 1990, also placed him inside a franchise that has earned more than $400 million worldwide and remains a cornerstone of modern action cinema. Alongside these milestones, he appeared in dozens of television productions over several decades, steadily maintaining his place in Hollywood through consistency rather than reinvention. Rosetta Lenoir as Estelle Mother Winslow. Rosetta Lenoir, born on August 8, 1911 in New York City, was 78 years old when she played Estelle Mother Winslow in Family Matters. Estelle Winslow brings warmth, wisdom, and emotional grounding to the Winslow household, often acting as the family's moral center while offering gentle humor and life advice shaped by experience and resilience. The role reflected her natural authority and deep stage presence built over decades in theater. Rosetta Lenoir passed away on March 17, 2002 at the age of 90 in Englewood, New Jersey, due to complications from diabetes. She was laid to rest in New York. During her later life, she gradually withdrew from acting as her health became more fragile, staying close to family and receiving care in New Jersey. Her influence in American entertainment reached far beyond television acting. In 1968, she founded the Amas Repertory Theater, a pioneering company created to expand opportunities for minority performers at a time when Broadway casting was still heavily limited and unequal. That effort later became one of the early driving forces for diversity in American stage production. In 1999, she was honored with the National Medal of Arts, recognizing a lifetime spent reshaping access and representation in the performing arts. Estelle Winslow reflects one of her most familiar television roles, but her name also stands behind a much larger shift in how American theater opened its doors to future generations. Cherie Johnson as Maxine Johnson. Cherie Johnson, born on November 21, 1975 in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, was 14 years old when she played Maxine Johnson, Laura Winslow's loyal and outspoken best friend in Family Matters. Her humor, confidence, and natural chemistry with the Winslow family made Maxine a familiar and beloved part of the show's world. By 2026, Cherie Johnson is 50 years old and continues building a successful career as an actress, author, producer, and entrepreneur. Following her years on Family Matters and Punky Brewster, she expanded into film production, writing, and publishing, releasing multiple novels and children's books while also helping develop independent film projects. In November 2025, she happily announced her engagement, marking the beginning of a new chapter in her personal life after decades in the entertainment industry. Although her career remained far more stable than many former child stars, growing up in Hollywood brought its own pressures and sacrifices. Much of her success was closely tied to her uncle, television producer David W. Duclos, which often led people to overlook her own talent and hard work. Rather than allowing herself to be defined only by childhood fame, Cherie spent years reinventing herself as a writer, producer, and advocate for literacy and children's charities. Her journey stands as a rare example of a child actress who successfully transformed early television success into a lasting and meaningful career. Darius McCrary as Eddie Winslow. Darius McCrary, born on May 1, 1976 in Walnut, California, was 13 years old when he played Eddie Winslow, the cool, rebellious eldest son of the Winslow family in Family Matters. His charisma, humor, and coming-of-age story helped make Eddie one of the show's most recognizable characters. As viewers watched him grow from a teenager into a young man, Eddie became an important part of the heart and identity of the series. By 2026, Darius McCrary is 50 years old and continues pursuing acting and music projects after a career that also included voicing Jazz in Transformers and appearing in The Young and the Restless. Much of his recent work has come through independent productions and smaller entertainment ventures as he works to rebuild stability in both his professional and personal life. Yet the challenges that followed him after his sitcom fame proved far more difficult than anything he faced on television. Over the years, Darius endured 3 failed marriages and became entangled in highly publicized legal disputes, financial struggles, and bitter custody battles involving former wife Tammy Bronner. Allegations of domestic violence and ongoing personal controversies placed enormous pressure on both his reputation and career, making it increasingly difficult to maintain the success he once enjoyed. Unlike what we knew him on screen, Darius McCrary's adult life became a long struggle to overcome conflict, controversy, and the consequences of decisions. Kellie Shanygne Williams as Laura Winslow. Kellie Shanygne Williams, born on March 22, 1976 in Washington, D.C., was 13 years old when she played Laura Winslow in Family Matters. Laura Winslow grows from a bright, disciplined teenager into a young woman navigating love, education, and family expectations, often serving as the emotional balance between her strict father and the chaos surrounding her household. The role made her one of the most recognizable young actresses in 1990s sitcom television. Kellie Shanygne Williams is 50 years old, and she is married to Hannibal Jackson and has 2 children. She has stepped away from mainstream acting and now focuses on raising her family in Washington, D.C. She also runs the Kellie Williams Program, a nonprofit organization that teaches television production skills to young people from underprivileged backgrounds. Her daily life is centered on education work, family responsibilities, and community support. After her departure from regular sitcom work, she expanded into television hosting with the lifestyle series Clean House. She also appeared in What About Joan, showing her ability to transition into different television formats beyond sitcom acting. In recognition of her contribution to youth media education, she has been honored by several community organizations in Washington, D.C. Laura Winslow remains the role most audiences remember her for, but her later years are defined more by mentorship and community work than by on-screen performance. Sherman Hemsley as Captain Savage. Sherman Hemsley, born on February 1, 1938 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, was 56 years old when he appeared as Captain Savage in Family Matters. Captain Savage appears in brief guest scenes as a strict military-style authority figure whose serious tone contrasts sharply with the sitcom's lighter family humor. The role came during the later phase of Hemsley's long television career. Sherman Hemsley died on July 24, 2012 at the age of 74 in El Paso, Texas, due to complications from lung cancer. He was buried in Texas. In his final years, he lived quietly away from Hollywood with his longtime companion and manager Flora Enchinton, keeping his personal life private while his health declined. Before this guest appearance, he had already achieved major television success as George Jefferson in The Jeffersons. That series produced 253 episodes over 11 seasons and became one of the most influential sitcoms in American television history. It also brought him major award recognition, including nominations for both the Emmy Awards and the Golden Globe Awards. He also appeared in Amen, another successful sitcom that ran for 5 seasons and kept him on television screens throughout the 1980s. After all, Sherman Hemsley is ultimately remembered as one of the defining sitcom actors of American television history. Orlando Brown as 3J Winslow. Orlando Brown, born on December 4, 1987 in Los Angeles, California, was 8 years old when he played 3J Winslow, the troubled young boy who was later welcomed into the Winslow family in Family Matters. His natural charm and emotional performances made 3J one of the most memorable additions to the show's later seasons. The role introduced audiences to a talented child actor who appeared destined for a long and successful career in Hollywood. By 2026, Orlando Brown is 38 years old and has been working to rebuild his life after years of personal turmoil and public struggles. Following his success in projects such as That's So Raven, Major Payne, and Disney's Fillmore, he gradually shifted his focus toward music, reality television, and business ventures. After completing another period of recovery, he opened Orlando Brown's $1 Million Fried Chicken restaurant in Phoenix, Arizona in 2025, hoping to create a more stable future for himself and his family. The years between child stardom and adulthood became a painful spiral of addiction, legal troubles, arrests, and public controversy. Brown faced multiple allegations involving domestic disputes, drug possession, and probation violations, while his struggles with substance abuse often played out in front of the public eye. His 2018 appearance on Dr. Phil drew widespread concern after a series of bizarre claims highlighted the severity of his personal difficulties, and by 2022 he was reportedly homeless and relying on relatives for support. Although his life has been marked by mistakes, setbacks, and years of instability, Orlando Brown's story remains one of Hollywood's most dramatic examples of a child star fighting to reclaim control of his life after losing his way. Jo Marie Payton as Harriet Winslow. Jo Marie Payton, born on August 3, 1950 in Miami, Florida, was 39 years old when she played Harriet Winslow in Family Matters. Harriet Winslow appears as a strong, practical mother who holds the Winslow household together with discipline, warmth, and sharp emotional intelligence. The role became one of the most influential black mother figures in 1990s American sitcom television. In 2026, Marie Payton is 76 years old. She continues working actively in voice acting, especially for animated Disney projects, and remains best known for voicing Sugar Mama in The Proud Family. She has been married 4 times and is currently married to Leonard Hormel since 2007. She divides her time between family life and selective voice roles rather than full-time on-screen acting. When her time on Family Matters ended, it marked a clear shift from live-action sitcom fame into animation and family entertainment. Her early career breakthrough came when she originated the character Harriet in Perfect Strangers, before the role evolved into the center of Family Matters, which ran for 204 episodes over 9 seasons. She also became widely recognized in animation through The Proud Family, which ran for multiple seasons and later returned with a revival series on Disney+. Through her career, her long experience shows a rare ability to move between sitcom performance and voice acting across decades of television history. Bryton James as Richie Crawford. Bryton James, born on August 17, 1986 in Lakewood, California, was 4 years old when he played Richie Crawford in Family Matters. Richie Crawford appears as a bright, innocent child whose cheerful energy and natural reactions bring warmth into the Winslow household, often lightening emotional or tense family moments with pure childhood simplicity. The role introduced him to television audiences at a very early age. By 2026, he is 40 years old and has built a stable and highly successful career in daytime television, most notably through his long-running role as Devon Hamilton in The Young and the Restless, a performance that earned him 2 Daytime Emmy Awards. He has never been married again after his earlier marriage to Ashley Leisinger ended in 2014, and the two remain on good terms. He has also focused on charitable work, especially programs supporting underprivileged youth, alongside maintaining his acting career. After his childhood role in Family Matters, he successfully transitioned into adult acting without disappearing from the industry, a rare outcome for former child stars. His breakthrough in The Young and the Restless began in 2004 and has continued for over 2 decades, making him one of the longest-serving young actors in daytime drama. Richie Crawford remains the role that first introduced him to audiences, but Bryton James is now defined by long-term consistency in soap opera television and his continued presence as an award-winning actor in 2026. Ron Taylor as Darnell Coleman/Pastor Peebles. Ron Taylor, born on November 16, 1953 in Los Angeles, California, was 38 years old when he appeared as Darnell Coleman/Pastor Peebles in Family Matters. Darnell Coleman/Pastor Peebles appears in brief supporting moments as a community figure and spiritual voice, bringing a grounded presence that reflects everyday life and moral guidance within the sitcom's neighborhood setting. The role aligned with Taylor's versatility across stage, television, and music. Ron Taylor died on January 16, 2002 at the age of 49 in Los Angeles, California, due to a heart attack following serious complications from obesity and high blood pressure. He was laid to rest in California. In his final years, he continued working in music production alongside his wife, Deborah Sharp Taylor, even as his health declined and mobility became increasingly limited. His career extended beyond television into major achievements in musical theater and voice performance. He won critical recognition for his work in Little Shop of Horrors, where he originated one of the most powerful vocal performances in modern musical theater history. He also contributed voice work to The Simpsons, including the role of Bleeding Gums Murphy. After all, Ron Taylor's legacy spans Broadway, animation, and music performance, marking him as a rare, multi-talented artist whose influence reached across multiple entertainment worlds. Fred Willard as Vice Principal Mallet. Fred Willard, born on September 18, 1933 in Shaker Heights, Ohio, was 55 years old when he appeared as Vice Principal Mallet in Family Matters. Vice Principal Mallet appears as a strict but comedic school authority figure whose exaggerated seriousness contrasts with the chaotic humor of the students around him. The role reflects Willard's natural talent for playing authoritative characters with comedic timing. Fred Willard died on May 15, 2020, at the age of 86 in Los Angeles, California, due to natural causes. He was laid to rest in California. In his final years, he lived in Los Angeles with support from his daughter, continuing to work in entertainment until shortly before his passing. His career is widely recognized as one of the most important in American comedy, built on improvisation and mockumentary-style humor. He earned 4 Emmy nominations across his career and became a key figure in Christopher Guest's ensemble films such as This Is Spinal Tap, 1984, Best in Show, 2000, and A Mighty Wind, 2003. He also became familiar to a new generation of viewers through Modern Family, where his performance as Frank Dunphy added emotional depth to the sitcom's final seasons. Now, Fred Willard's legacy is defined by decades of shaping improvisational comedy on both film and television. Telma Hopkins as Rachel Crawford. Telma Hopkins, born on October 28, 1948 in Louisville, Kentucky, was 41 years old when she played Rachel Crawford, the stylish, independent aunt who became one of the most beloved adult figures in the series. Her warmth, humor, and strong personality helped shape the show's family atmosphere during its early years. Rachel quickly became a fan favorite and an important part of the Winslow family's story. By 2026, Telma Hopkins is 78 years old and has slowed down her workload, though she still makes occasional guest appearances on television. Long before her acting success, she became famous as a member of the iconic music group Tony Orlando and Dawn, and later enjoyed successful television careers in shows such as Gimme a Break and Half and Half. Today, she spends much of her time focusing on her health and supporting charitable causes related to breast cancer awareness and abused children. Away from the spotlight, Telma experienced a failed marriage to Donald B. Allen and raised a son while building her career. In her later years, she has also battled chronic joint pain, a condition that has become one of her biggest daily challenges. Yet despite the discomfort and personal setbacks she has faced, Telma Hopkins continues to be admired for the same grace, resilience, and bright spirit that made audiences fall in love with Rachel Crawford decades ago. Tom Poston as Mr. Looney. Tom Poston, born on October 17, 1921 in Columbus, Ohio, was 73 years old when he played Mr. Looney, the quirky and memorable neighbor who added extra comedy to the series. His natural timing and decades of experience made even brief appearances unforgettable. Although his role was small, his presence brought the charm of a television legend to the show. Tom Poston passed away on April 30, 2007, at the age of 85 after a courageous battle with bone cancer. During his final years, declining health gradually forced him to step away from acting, and his career came to an end only a few months before his death because he was no longer strong enough to continue working. He spent his last days at his Los Angeles home surrounded by his wife, actress Suzanne Pleshette, and his family. Throughout his life, Tom was celebrated as one of America's great television comedians, winning an Emmy Award in 1959 and earning lasting fame through roles such as George Utley in Newhart. His late-life marriage to Suzanne Pleshette became one of Hollywood's most touching love stories, bringing happiness after years of life's ups and downs. Even as illness slowly weakened him, he remained surrounded by love and dignity, making his final chapter as heartfelt and memorable as the remarkable career he left behind. Tammy Townsend as Greta McClure. Tammy Townsend, born on August 17, 1970, in Los Angeles, California, was 25 years old when she played Greta McClure, Eddie Winslow's confident and stylish girlfriend in Family Matters. Her charm, strong personality, and chemistry with Eddie brought fresh energy to the show's later seasons. Greta quickly became one of the most memorable recurring characters and helped shape some of Eddie's most important storylines. By 2026, Tammy Townsend is 56 years old and continues working steadily in television after building a career that has spanned more than 4 decades. Her work includes roles in Days of Our Lives, KC Undercover, and numerous guest appearances across popular television series. While many former sitcom stars struggled to remain visible after the 1990s, Tammy successfully transitioned between comedy, drama, and family television, allowing her career to remain active well into the 2020s. Even so, navigating Hollywood as a working actress for decades required persistence, resilience, and the ability to adapt as the industry constantly changed around her. Rather than becoming defined by a single role, she steadily built a career through consistency and professionalism, turning Greta McClure from a fan-favorite sitcom character into just one chapter of a much longer success story. Jaimee Foxworth as Judy Winslow. Jaimee Foxworth, born on December 17, 1979 in Belleville, Illinois, was 10 years old when she played Judy Winslow, the youngest daughter of the Winslow family in Family Matters. Her sweet personality and natural charm made Judy a familiar part of the show's early seasons. Few viewers could have imagined that her character would eventually disappear from the series without explanation, creating one of the most controversial stories in sitcom history. By 2026, Jaimee Foxworth is 47 years old and has completely stepped away from the entertainment industry. She now lives a quiet life focused on her family, raising the son she welcomed in 2009 with her longtime partner and working outside of Hollywood. After years spent in the public eye, she has chosen privacy and stability over fame while continuing to heal from the difficult experiences that shaped her life. The sudden decision to remove Judy Winslow from the show during its 4th season devastated Jaimee at just 13 years old and triggered a painful chain of events that followed her into adulthood. Her family's financial struggles worsened, and she later battled depression, substance abuse, and severe personal hardship that eventually led her into the adult film industry under the name Crave, a decision she later deeply regretted. In 2008, she entered celebrity rehab with Dr. Drew and successfully overcame her addiction, beginning the long process of rebuilding her life. What started as the dream of a child star became one of Hollywood's saddest cautionary tales, but Jaimee Foxworth's story is also one of survival, resilience, and finding peace after years of pain. So, after revisiting the Family Matters, 1989, cast Then and Now, it becomes clear how time has taken each actor down a completely different path, some continuing quiet but steady careers, some shifting into voice work and creative projects, and others leaving behind legacies that still shape television history today. Which cast member's journey surprised you the most after all these years? And did you ever imagine their lives would turn out this way? If you enjoyed this deep dive into the Family Matters cast, don't forget to like the video, subscribe for more Then and Now stories, and tell us which classic sitcom we should explore next.